Hello and welcome to morebikes.co.uk. Today we're looking at camping equipment and we're looking at sleeping out and about. We've got pillows, sleeping mats, sleeping bags and a luxury camp bed here. And most importantly we've got Andy from Twist Moto here. He is an expert on this kind of stuff. They kit out bikers for camping for living, so he knows his stuff. Andy, starting with the smallest item here, sure. This is a camping pillow. Do you want to just talk us through how these things work, what you're looking for, how much this sets you back, and why should we bring these with us?
Sure, yeah, no worries. So you just don't need to skimp on comfort really, and these pillows really are one of those things that you definitely should have. It really helps you get a better night's sleep and it's just worth it. The pack size, 70 grams, really small. And they're made out of sort of a nice suede finish with an air balloon inside them. They have a really quick valve which you can blow up and takes 2 breaths maybe one more.
Let's see. This one. 1.5 I call
1.5 breaths, yeah. So it has a valve inside so you can adjust the pressure for you.
Yeah.
And something like this costs you £25 to £30. So.
Okay, that's it. And that's your pillow for the night?
Yeah.
Next item, sleeping mat.
Yeah.
This is a small package, very light. What do we look for in a sleeping mat?
Yeah, so bit of a minefield. You've got to think about what climate you're sleeping in. You lose a lot of your body heat through the floor when you're camping, especially if you're on mat. So you might want an insulated mat if you're in cold climates, or you want a non-insulated if you're in a hotter climate. That way you get a smaller pack size. So those things to think about really. Also the size. You might want a full length mat if you're not too worried about pack. This is full length. If you are really worried about the pack size, then you can go half length because your legs don't need to be on a mat really.
That's still pretty small though. How small would it be if it was only a torso mat?
Yeah, so you lose about 1/3 of this again. So
okay.
This particular mat's from Sea to Summit. They make some of the best sleeping mats that you can buy in the world today. They're made technically out of advanced materials and they are really small when packed. Other mats of the similar sort of size or whatever are still packed a bit bigger. So. But yeah, something like this, full length mattress, good for you if you've got sort of broader shoulders, they're not too narrow, and they've got more insulation in certain areas than others. So.
Okay, so you're warmer where you need to be, rather than wasting that bit of space and bulk.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, the other thing to think about with these mats is you can spend hours blowing them up using those small sort of Lilo air valves. The Sea to Summit ones in particular come with the same valve that pillow has, which is a quick to deflate valve. Quick to inflate valve, and it also has the pressure adjuster in there as well. So all of their range have the same mat. So
here we go.
So there it is. It's quite a good length. It's actually pretty much 6 foot in length.
Yeah.
Some of these mats also come, all of the mats actually come with the ability to blow them up using a dry bag. So they come with a dry bag, which they call a pump sack, which is a standard, dry bag.
Okay.
But it has the same valve on it that this has, and you can trap the air in the bag and pump it down, and it blows it up.
So if you're passing out when you're blowing it up.
Yeah. So I think I'm all right, but it doesn't take too much to get it up. So, they're good looking. They come in all different colours depending on the type of mat that they are.
Yeah.
Something if you're sleeping on the ground, something like that's definitely worth thinking about.
Yeah, and that's very light, even when it's blown up, and it still folds down, and we'll put it down there for now.
Yeah.
And the next item is the sleeping bag. There's down bags, there's synthetic bags. What do we look for in a sleeping bag?
Yeah, ultra thermally efficient. You want a down bag, but you can't get them wet, so you have to really look after them. They're a bit like the Ferrari of sleeping bags, if you like. If you want maybe sort of the more robust bag that you can get wet and damp, then you want something that's synthetic filled. This particular bag is a mix. It's a new bag from Vango. It's called it's mix. It's a mixed bag of synthetic and down as well.
Yeah.
But really, you want to think about what type of climate are you sleeping in? Are you sleeping in hot summer days and hot summer nights? Are you in the Indies, or you're travelling around the world on your bike, or are you sleeping in the British sort of summer, which apparently is actually more of a winter? In which case, you might want a sort of a 2 or 3 season bag. Okay. So.
And is that one of them?
Yeah, so this is a bag that's rated down to -6 degrees. So typically in Britain, you get sort of -1 or something at night if you're sort of sleeping in most climates. So this bag would be good for you if it got down to -6 degrees.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more insulated they are, the bigger they get when they're packed.
Yeah.
But this particular bag is quite small when packed already because it's got the mix of down, which is small when packed, and ultra, and the synthetic fill as well, which is efficient too. The great thing about this is it already comes in a dry bag.
Yeah.
So you don't have to put this in your own bag or in your panniers. You can mount this externally on your bike if you want to. With all of these, you just stuff them in the bag. Vango are pretty good with their sort of range of colours. They're normally always quite bright. Some of the brands are quite dull.
Yeah, you're not going to lose that one very quickly.
No, and the technical thing with bags to remember is you do get what you pay for, absolutely. You can buy really cheap bags if you want to, or you can spend a lot of money on a bag. This bag, £150, £200, it's a lot of money, but it's not as much as it could be. But in terms of what you get, you pay what you get. You get in here, you get certain levels of fill in certain areas. So technically, you want more fill in the areas of your upper body and less fill in your feet and your ankles.
Yeah, the same principle as with the mat, where you have more air in those areas where you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's what you get with that. It helps balance how much pack to weight ratio you get, and it will keep you warm when you need to be warm. So yeah, Vango Fuse. That's the -6 version. They do 4 different versions of that bag. Okay,
excellent. That's the sleeping bag, and then we have the luxury camp bed. I'm quite excited about this one. This is something a bit different. It's a bit more bulky, so you might need to strap that on your bike, or have big panniers for that one. But this is something that will really add to your comfort, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's 2 things that people say to us all the time that they hate about camping and puts them off. It's fluctuation in temperature, cold at night, hot in the morning. We can't do anything about that. The other thing that they hate is sleeping on the floor and getting a bad night's sleep. You know, if you're on a long trip, a lot of our guys are travelling around the world. You want energy, you want to have slept well. One way to do that is to get a cot. Yeah. So not massive impact size in the scale of things. If you've got a big adventure bike, it straps on there, no problem. Yeah. But you will sleep like a baby in this cot.
Excellent. Let's have a look.
I think the key thing with this is a lot of our customers say that they use this as their spare bed at home. Wow. So they justify the expenditure by saying it's a spare bed for guests at home, but also I'm going to get a good night's sleep, so I'm going to be awake when I'm riding my bike the next day. It's made by Helinox. It's called the Helinox Cot Convertible. It's their latest cot. It's called a convertible because you can extend the height of it if you want to off the ground. Long and short of it is Helinox make very strong structural systems out of aluminium, which is what this is. This whole thing snaps, all the legs snap shut, the whole thing opens up and you can get it put up in about 5 minutes. There's not much to it at all.
Let's give it a go.
Okay. Yeah, so it takes typically 5 minutes to put up. It's pretty simple, there's not many parts to it really. But what you get is 2.7 kilogram bed. You know, pretty much feather light, they don't weigh much. Yeah. The key thing to look out for with these sort of cots is that the sleeping skin, if you like, is tight. Yeah. Cheaper versions, they sag, you can end up on the floor. Yeah. The key to a good one is that they are a tight mechanism and the material doesn't sag too much. So on these you can lay on your side in it and you won't touch the ground. You can see that it's wide enough. You know, if you've sort of got broad shoulders, if you're 6 foot tall, you'll be all right with this bed at night. So
that looks really comfortable. We'll test it later. I'm not going to climb on the table, but but it looks really good, and that's the real luxury camping then with this one. Yeah,
I think that's the key thing for us. For us to do it a lot, we pretty much, this is one of our essentials. It's worth having that extra little bit of pack because of what this does. It means you sleep comfortably. It means you're off the ground, so you're much more comfortable than you would be if you were on the sleeping straight on the floor, and you'll be wide awake for a good long ride the next day. So.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks very much, Andy.
No problem.
That's all from us this time. So this was all the sleeping gear, sleeping mats, sleeping bags, pillows, and camp beds. We'll do more of these videos soon, so stay tuned on morebikes.co.uk.